The clock struck midnight, but Alina was still at her desk, her eyes stinging from the glow of the computer screen. Papers lay scattered like broken pieces of a puzzle she couldn't solve. The office was silent now, long after her colleagues had left, but her heart was loud, thundering with exhaustion and guilt. Somewhere in the city, her partner was waiting for her, another dinner gone cold, another promise broken, another tear shed in silence. She wanted so badly to be present for him, to nurture the love that once felt like sunshine, but her career demanded everything. And in this battle between ambition and affection, she felt like she was losing both. Life had become a relentless tug-of-war. By day, she was the dependable manager, the one who delivered results, solved problems, and carried the weight of her team's failures. By night, she was the absent lover, the one who came home too late, too drained, too distracted to truly connect. Alina's dreams had always been clear: to rise high in her company, to prove herself, to not let her struggles from the past define her future. But love, she thought, shouldn't feel like another job she was failing at. Every time her partner's eyes dimmed a little more with disappointment, her chest ached with shame. She was walking on a rope stretched between two cliffs, career on one side, love on the other, and with every step, she feared the rope would snap. Before we go deeper into Alina's journey, let me pause for a moment. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of understanding, then please like this video, share it with others, comment with your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe to Kindness. Together, we can spread stories that touch hearts and remind people of the goodness that still exists in this world. Alina's struggle began long before those midnight hours in the office. She had grown up in a family that believed survival came first. Her father had worked 2 jobs, her mother had sacrificed everything for her children, and love in their home was expressed through sacrifice, not words or hugs. Alina carried those lessons with her: to work hard, to prove her worth, to never show weakness. When she finally landed a prestigious job at a multinational firm, she felt as though she had been handed the ticket to everything her family never had. Yet with success came pressure. The higher she climbed, the lonelier she became. Her relationship, once her safe harbor, now felt fragile, like a delicate glass vase that could shatter at any moment. Her partner, Adil, had been endlessly patient, waiting through countless rescheduled dates and missed anniversaries. But patience has limits. His once warm words turned into quiet silences, his smiles into forced nods. Alina could see him slipping away, but she didn't know how to stop it. She couldn't let go of her career, too much depended on it, and yet, the thought of losing him was like drowning in an ocean she had no strength to swim out of. The breaking point came one Friday evening. Alina had promised Adil that she would leave work early and attend his younger sister's engagement ceremony. He had emphasized how important it was to him, how much it meant for her to be there as part of his family. But when a crisis struck at the office, an urgent presentation that had to be prepared overnight, Alina's promise dissolved like smoke. By the time she arrived at the event, hours late, the ceremony was over. She saw Adil from across the room, his face falling as he caught sight of her. The disappointment in his eyes was sharper than any words he could have spoken. That night, he didn't yell or argue, he simply said, "I don't know how much longer I can keep waiting for you." Those words haunted her. At work, she poured herself into spreadsheets and reports, but her mind replayed his voice. At home, she sat across from him at the dinner table, but the silence between them screamed louder than anything else. She felt like she was living 2 half-lives, never fully present in either. One Monday morning, after a weekend of icy silence, Alina walked into the office, carrying her guilt like a heavy stone. She expected another exhausting week of tasks and deadlines, but something unusual happened. Her leader, Mr. Rahman, called her into his office. He was a man known for his stern professionalism, but also for the way he could see beneath the surface of his employees. As she sat across from him, bracing herself for criticism, he simply studied her face. "Alina," he said quietly, "you're one of the hardest workers here. But lately, I see a shadow in your eyes. What's going on?" For a moment, she wanted to brush it off, to pretend everything was fine. But the walls she had built began to crumble under the weight of his sincerity. She found herself confessing, about the endless nights, the crumbling relationship, the fear of losing everything she had worked for. To her surprise, he didn't interrupt, didn't judge. He just listened. When she finished, her hands trembling in her lap, he leaned forward. "Alina, success is meaningless if it costs you the very people who make life worth living. I don't want to lose your brilliance here, but I also don't want you to lose yourself. Find the balance. You don't have to carry everything alone." Those words hit her like a flood of light in a dark tunnel. No one had ever told her it was okay to step back, to breathe, to prioritize love alongside work. For the first time, she felt seen, not just as an employee, but as a human being struggling to keep her heart intact. Mr. Rahman offered her flexibility, encouraged her to delegate tasks, and reminded her that leadership wasn't about doing everything, it was about trusting others to share the load. His kindness was not just in his words, but in the faith he showed in her humanity. That evening, Alina did something she hadn't done in months. She left work on time. She stopped by a small bakery, picking up Adil's favorite cake. When she arrived home, she found him sitting alone, staring at his phone. His surprise was evident when she placed the cake on the table. She didn't make excuses this time. She simply said, "I don't want to lose you. I know I've failed you, but I'm trying to change. Will you give me another chance?" The road to healing was not instant. Trust, once cracked, takes time to mend. But Alina began making choices differently. She delegated tasks to her team, trusted their abilities, and discovered that the world did not collapse when she stopped working late every single night. Slowly, she carved out evenings for Adil, dinners, walks, small conversations that stitched together the frayed fabric of their love. At work, she was still respected, still successful, but she was no longer burning herself to ashes. Her transformation didn't just impact her relationship. Her colleagues noticed too. She smiled more often, carried a warmth that had been missing before. She became the kind of leader who understood that her team had lives beyond the office, and she extended to them the same kindness that had been shown to her. In helping herself, she became a source of hope for others, proof that balance was possible, that kindness could change the trajectory of someone's life. Months later, as she stood beside Adil at his sister's wedding, their hands intertwined, Alina felt a quiet gratitude. She hadn't just salvaged her relationship, she had found a deeper strength within herself. She realized now that true success was not about climbing higher at any cost, but about holding on to the people who walked with you on the journey. And it had taken one leader's kindness, one moment of understanding, to remind her of that truth. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you of the power of kindness and second chances, then please don't forget to like this video, share it with others who might need hope, and subscribe to Kindness. Your support helps us continue spreading stories that heal, inspire, and remind the world of the light we all carry inside. And before we end, we have a special request. Tell us in the comments below, what does balance mean to you in your own life? As the music fades and the screen dims, let this story remain in your heart. Because sometimes, one act of kindness, one moment of understanding, can give someone the courage to rebuild both love and life.